Number 1. INFJs like to be alone to return to themselves. INFJs are one of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types. They are known for their deep sense of idealism and integrity, but aren't idle dreamers at all. They take concrete steps to manifest their goals in their lifetime. INFJs are also renowned for their ability to feel other people's emotions. INFJs go through daily life absorbing numerous amounts of different impressions from their surroundings and the people they interact with. Since they're more sensitive to those types of emotional impressions, they might struggle more with processing them than the average human being. Harmony and peace are the INFJ's specialty, and they have an almost alien-like ability to shapeshift their energy, verbal and non-verbal communication to make it seamlessly fit the social situation at hand. For example, as an INFJ, you might find that you break eye contact every 5 seconds with the person you're talking to because you sense that they're uncomfortable, which makes you uncomfortable, and you try to hide your own uncomfortableness so that the other doesn't get more uncomfortable. Another example would be someone trying to one-up the INFJ by boasting about what they themselves have achieved, while the INFJ knows they've achieved much more, but won't hold it over the other person's head because the INFJ senses that the other's fragile ego would get shattered. Another social situation INFJs can find themselves in is socially being held hostage in a commute situation where they've happened to run into the proverbial old classmate they haven't seen in years and now have to talk to, but still, surprise, have nothing in common with, but manage to find that 1% of common ground and being able to pull material for conversation from that to survive the otherwise awkward 1-hour public transport journey with a witnessing audience. Whew, I think you've got the idea. INFJs can be everything and nothing at the same time. Our INFJ shapeshifter ability is often an absolute lifesaver, like was demonstrated in the social situations before. But since we do it regularly with great skill, we can lose touch with ourselves. We risk being able to become almost anyone, but being no one at the same time. We are the metaphorical mirror that holds everybody's reflection except our own. As INFJs, we like to be alone, because in solitude we can return to ourselves.
And when you're done, you just shake it clean. Etch a sketch from Ohio Art.
That is the time we gather our thoughts. Like the snow in the Christmas snow globe decoration needs time to settle after being shaken, we need time to let the emotional impressions from the day settle, so that our inner world is clear again and we see ourselves again. Number 2. INFJs like to be alone to turn off extraverted feeling. Extraverted feeling is a strong cognitive function in INFJs, represented by the letter F. It is extraverted feeling which grants us our superpower to sense what someone else is feeling and needing at any given moment. Extraverted feeling is our secret weapon when it comes to measuring the social room's temperature and helps us keep that temperature nice and warm for everybody, so to speak. It manifests through the INFJ always being the first to notice that the music playlist stopped at a social gathering and then puts on some more music that fits the mood, although Spotify helps us out big time nowadays. Another example is that it shows up in the INFJ standing up from the new friend's couch to introduce him or herself properly to the parents of that friend, because they know the older generations like that respect. When an INFJ male walks behind a woman in the streets at night, extroverted feeling comes out by slowing his pace or crossing the street to further the distance between him and the woman so that she feels less on edge. All in all, extroverted feeling is the social ace up the INFJ sleeve that can be played every time we need it. Great, right? Well, there's a catch. Extroverted feeling on autopilot. What it is about extroverted feeling is that it tends to trigger automatically when INFJs find themselves in a social situation. It doesn't matter if it's at a birthday party with family or while doing grocery shopping at the local supermarket. Even though this function is one of the powerful driving forces behind the INFJ's revered warmth and empathy, this power's trade-off is that it activates on its own accord when we signal just any human being, or dog or cat for that matter, in the periphery. Obviously, this can be very exhausting. INFJs prefer to be alone so that the extroverted feeling function can finally shut down for a while. By choosing solitude, there's no one around to trigger this strong function. When we are alone, we don't have to consider anyone's feelings except our own. By being alone, we finally have some control over the extroverted feeling to keep it turned off and rest. Number 3. INFJs like to be alone because they value quality time over quantity time. They say that absence makes the heart grow fonder. The absence of INFJs at most of their friends' social events is not anything new. However, this doesn't mean that they don't like their friends. As lovers of beauty, INFJs value quality time more than quantity time in relationships. INFJs naturally home in on the essence of their significant others and want to understand their soul. What's more is that those deeper, high-quality, authentic conversations and interactions feed us with soul energy. Our being becomes alive during those moments. We might feel joyful, creative, blissful, compassion, inspired, timeless, or a sense of peace when immersed in such conversations with our good friends. During those quality moments, both sides bring their own unique perspectives, emotions, and experiences to the conversation. That soul energy becomes our sustenance as the conversation ascends to higher and higher levels of aliveness. I truly believe that this is where soul energy comes out and nourishes the people who are engaged in the interaction. But after a while, the time comes again to return to one's own life, so to speak. New experiences to have something to say. Time comes to take that energy from the high quality interaction and fuse it into our everyday lives. During those moments, you experience more of life in your own unique way. You'll take that in, and after a while, when it's time to see your good friends again, you'll bring that fresh and new life experience and energy into the interaction again. Then we'll return to friends with something to say. It is of course perfectly fine if you choose to see your friends every day. Many times someone doesn't need that time away from friends, but INFJs tend to need it. They experience quality time as magical. In our absence, we incubate that potential magic for our next encounters, but we have to be willing and able to miss others for a little while. Number 4. INFJs like to be alone because they enjoy entertaining themselves. Being alone as an INFJ is many times just the mere byproduct of being great at self-entertainment. From reading to writing or just browsing the internet randomly, following their curiosity. They could easily spend days like this. When alone, they can really let their mind drift and see where it takes them. What is it exactly that makes them so good at entertaining themselves? Do they have so many different types of interests? Is it that they don't need that much to be entertained? Or are they just boring? You might think that, since a wall to stare at is all they need. Bored? Not a chance. Now, to speak a little bit personally as an INFJ male, although I've been always bored at my 9-to-5 jobs.
I hate this job. Hi, welcome to Smoothie. Can you give me just one moment? I'll be right with you.
Of the last 7 years, I can't even remember the last time I was bored during my free time, and my life isn't flashy at all. INFJs appear very calm from the outside, but inside there's a lot going on. Their minds can be seen as a lifetime subscription to a cosmic Netflix account accessed via a VPN connection to a server on the moon. There's so much to wonder about in this life, how could we possibly be bored? Visiting friends is therefore maybe also less common for the INFJ, since it's just one of the many options of entertaining oneself. When the INFJ friend does visit you, be sure to give her or him props though. Now you know it was their conscious choice to break their self-isolation to sincerely visit you, and not just to kill some time. Number 5. INFJs like to be alone to focus on their life's purpose. Let's face it, figuring out one's life purpose is to many a daunting task. Some doubt a purpose in life even exists. Well, according to the INFJ, they're seriously missing out. Although INFJs have a hard time figuring out their own purpose, the idealistic dreamer in them propels them to investigate what it could be. Nothing can light their spirit like a clear vision for their own life. Even if that vision isn't 2020 yet. When it's compelling enough, it provides almost an unwavering drive to achieve it. But the so-called deep soul requires deep investigation, and that takes time. Enormous amounts of time. INFJs like to be alone because they deeply understand that the key to residing in the bliss of a beautiful life is excavating the most authentic parts of their soul and bringing those parts to the surface. Now, it's already clear that it isn't an overnight thing, but we have to regularly tend to the process. If we fail to do so for a long time, we may feel a haunting sense of unrest. How we can be our best selves and help and love our loved ones is most important to us in this lifetime. Yet, the path to our ultimate goal is a lonely journey. Thank you all for 1000 subscriptions in only 7 short weeks. That's absolutely amazing. I will continue to do my best making awesome videos for you all. Stay tuned and watch this video next.